You're watching Hkm TV.
Good afternoon, Hopkinton, and welcome to the Hangout Hour. Hi, Mom. So we're changing our schedule for the Hangout Hour. Instead of doing 5 2 o'clock shows every week, we are now doing, we are now doing a 2 o'clock show on Monday, and we're doing a 7 o'clock show on Wednesday. So those will be the new episodes each week. And we hope that you will be able to join us and tune in for that. Right now, I also, I'm getting used to the new setup and I just turned my video off. All right, so also in addition to changing our setup, I'm also changing my locale. I've been doing a lot of these shows from my basement studio, which means that what you see behind me is a beautiful picture that Mike Tarosian took that was on a green screen right here that replaces it. However, happy to tell you that I have now moved back to the Hkm studios. There we go. So it's really nice to be back here. For my first episode here, I will be talking with Abbie Rosenberg and what's happening at her new organization, the Mental Health Collaborative. And then I'll welcome 2 members of the Hopkinton Women's Club to show you a beautiful fundraiser they have going on. And following that, we'll talk with John Ritz about a cool new project that we are working on in collaboration with the high school music department, followed by a quick visit with Matt to tell you all that's new on Hkm. So a lot going on, and you're always welcome to share your thoughts on our YouTube chat or Facebook feed. We love getting comments. And right now, I'd like to welcome Abbie Rosenberg to our show.
Hi, Jim. Thanks so much.
Oh, I'm really glad that you're here. You know, I've been a big fan of yours ever since you've been working on the race. You are very community-minded, and so is your new organization, the Mental Health Collaborative. So we have had you on the show before, kind of talking about the genesis of where that came from. However, if people aren't yet aware of you and what your new role is, how about you just give us the elevator pitch for the Mental Health Collaborative?
Okay, we are a nonprofit organization, fairly new. Our mission is to build resilient communities through mental health education and awareness. And that's what we're doing. We've been really busy. We've had to pivot. We've had to be creative and flexible, given not wanting anything to stall due to COVID. So we're really busy, and we're really excited to bring some programming to Hopkinton and also beyond Hopkinton.
That's great. And now I love the fact that you're a nonprofit organization, because that just really underscores how community-centric that you are. And there are many different communities within the Hopkinton community. And so I know that in talking with you, you are generating content that you will be raising awareness of mental health within various circles in the town. And I know that we have talked about the school system, and you have talked about residents in the town. So how about you just give us a little overview of some of the communities that you are looking to help serve?
Sure. We've put all of our programming virtually at this point due to COVID, which has been a real blessing in many ways. It's been tough, but a huge blessing that we've been able to reach people all over the country. So that is a really great silver lining. In Hopkinton, we did our first pilot of mental health literacy training for community members. And that was about a month ago. We got great feedback. We've streamlined the program since getting that feedback. One thing that just pops into my head is one of the participants said, every parent of a middle schooler needs to take this course. So that really meant a lot to me, that they really felt that it was valuable. And we got a lot of many great thoughts about positive feedback. So yeah, we're going to be offering that again. It's part of our Giving Back and Giving Tuesday campaign. We're going to be offering that in November for community members of Hopkinton. We do cap it at a certain amount because we like it to be engaging and interactive. But we'll be doing that. And then again, taking that feedback, we will start offering it in 2021 as a regular thing in the community.
That's great. And I just wanted to comment. I say this before to a lot of people who are in your position and doing the kind of work that you do. I think that awareness and education around mental health, it should be in the school system. It should be everywhere. Many of these things that we learn are really just good life skills, are really just the best ways to engage and interact with people and to be able to, be open about struggles that we have, because we all have them, and to recognize when one of our peers or one of our friends may be struggling, and the best ways to help them out. I just, in going through my life and coming up against teaching such as this, I always call these people life changers, because you do change lives. You do meet people where they need help and they get help, and it changes the direction and the focus on the rest of their lives. So I think that what you do is just really exciting work.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, if we can save 1 life, 10 lives, 20 lives, then our work is done.
Exactly. Although I suspect it'll be more than that. In today's world, I hope, it seems to me that it's becoming more aware that these are important things, and the language around that is becoming more prevalent, so that you hear about it more often. It's not so much a hidden secret or a silent shame or something like that. It's really recognizing reality for what it is. You know what? Some people struggle with a physical disability. Some people struggle with a mental illness. Some people struggle with bad things that happen to people in life. But everybody has something that's a challenge or a struggle. So the fact that this world is becoming more aware and able to talk about those things, I think is tremendous.
Yeah, and we talk a lot about stress, positive stress, toxic stress, how to deal with all that, how to become more resilient through it. We talk about the language we use, and we talk a lot about stigma, and stigma does exist. So that is a barrier to people getting help that they need. When you have asthma and you're having trouble breathing, you don't wait to go to the doctor. But if you have symptoms of depression, you often wait. So we really try to tackle stigma and teach people how to get help, where to get help, what to expect when they get there.
That must be, so actually, I don't know what that must be. I know that in the past, stigma has been very, very problematic, and there's so many things that people couldn't talk about. Is it getting better, or is there still a really hard struggle to overcome stigma?
I believe it will be overcome, but it still is alive and well, unfortunately. So, for all of us, there is a stigma around mental illness, and we all have mental health to varying degrees. Whether we have a mental illness or not, we all have mental health. So we really try to help people acknowledge when they need help, but also acknowledge how to best cope. And we're all right now, of course, with what we're going through, everyone's life is upside down to some degree.
Right. Now, I don't know if I missed it. What's the name of this community thing that you're offering in November?
We are calling it Mental Health Literacy Training for Community Members.
Okay.
Simple.
So, a mouthful. Now, somebody signing up for one of these spots and attending this, what is the focus and what are we learning? Is it you tell me. What are we going to learn there?
The focus is a broad-based mental health literacy, which entails talking about stigma, how to combat it, talking about mental health and how to best promote your own mental health and those of others, talking about the mental illnesses, what they are, what to do about them, what the current treatments are, and talking about how to get help. And again, when to know that you need it, where to go, how to get it, how to access it, how to access help if you need it, and then what to expect when you get there.
Nice. And is it one session? Is it multiple sessions? How many hours?
It started off as probably 8 hours, and we've streamlined it because it's really hard on Zoom, and we like it to be interactive so that people can engage. So we've streamlined it now to two-hour programs. So 1 week we'll do a 2-hour Zoom, and then the following week we ask people to commit to coming both weeks so that they get the full training.
Okay. Is there a cost to get involved?
We are not going to charge for the November one. I would love to get a sponsor to cover in 2021 or a grant. Not sure yet about that. Right now we're really busy. We have about 3 grants, huge grants pending. Some local, some not. Very exciting stuff. We're really excited about it. So yeah, but we will always make time for Hopkinton. Hopkinton is, part of my heart, part of my community, and we're there for Hopkinton 100%.
That's great. All right. So, we do have time. You had sent me a 2-minute video, which has a lot of good information about what you're doing. So why don't we just take 2 minutes and play that, and then see you on the other side of that.
Sounds great. Thanks.
Welcome to Mental Health Collaborative. We believe that with education and awareness, we can work together to decrease stigma and open the door to conversations about mental illness. Mental Health Collaborative is a nonprofit organization dedicated to building resilient communities through mental health education and awareness. Mental health literacy is the knowledge and understanding that helps us become responsible, effective, and successful in living full and healthy lives. With good mental health literacy, we learn how to take better care of ourselves, our loved ones, and our communities. The 4 components of mental health literacy are understanding how to optimize and maintain good mental health, understanding mental illnesses and their treatments, decreasing stigma, and enhancing help-seeking efficacy. We all need mental health literacy. Unfortunately, 450 million people worldwide suffer from some mental health condition at any given moment. 1 in 5 to 6 adults will experience a mental illness in the course of a year, and suicide is the 2nd leading cause of death in youth, ages 10 to 34. Yet many people do not have a basic understanding of mental health and the language that we use to describe it. We know that mental illness is treatable and nobody needs to suffer in silence. Our vision is of informed communities where people flourish, live the lives they imagine for themselves, and engage in the promotion of mental well-being. We are dedicated to ending stigma and improving mental health literacy across communities by moving away from a crisis-based response toward a model of prevention through education and awareness. We are all on the front lines when it comes to the mental health of our friends, families, coworkers, and neighbors. Help us spread our mission by bringing it to your community, workplace, or school, and donating to our organization. Thank you for your support.
Really nice. That was really nice. Good job on that, Abbie.
Thank you.
Now, one of the communities that we have talked about in the past that you are developing curriculum for would be a school setting. And we had talked, and you had identified middle school as being an especially good ground for you to try to work with kids as they are growing and changing so much in those years. And I'm wondering if you have an update on how things are going with that.
We are so passionate about bringing this to schools, especially to Hopkinton schools. And we feel it's really a necessary proactive approach to bring into curriculums, to make it part of a curriculum, not just a reaction to something that happens in a school, for example. So we're, as I said, real busy, but when the schools have time and can get that together, we will be there to do that, and we can be flexible. That is the name of the game right now with COVID. So we're virtual, we're flexible, and we're excited about the work that we're going to do.
Great. How is it that you needed to transition to a virtual environment versus being in a room with everybody that you're working with? How does that change what you do and how you try to have an impact?
It doesn't really change it. I think we've become really adept at making things streamlined and being able to do it virtually. I think it's in many ways better. The only thing we really lose is that, people really interacting with each other live, and there's nothing that we can do to take that place right now. But I think we've done a pretty good job with making some really engaging, memorable training programs.
Excellent. What are some of the ways, if people are watching this show and they really love your mission, what can they do to help you? Do you have volunteer positions? Are you trying to fund something, or what are you doing?
Well, we're always trying to raise money so that we can sustain ourselves financially. That's a big one. We have to pay for our programming. We would love people to follow us on our social media, on our new YouTube channel, which we have, I think, about 5 or 6 videos on, and we're growing, but we have a very low following because that's something that takes a lot of time. So YouTube, social media, following us on our website, just signing up for emails would be great. Donations are always appreciated to help us, whether it be, $5 or $50, doesn't matter. And we'll be having, we'll be keeping Hopkinton up to date on our website with what we'll be doing, and signups for that November program will be through the website. They're not up yet, but I'll make sure to tell you so that you can put it up on your site.
Okay, great. So here is the website right here. So if people are looking to connect with you, this is a great spot. You have all of your information on there, as well as ways to get involved.
Yeah, and thank you also. We have had some recent people sign up for volunteers. We would love volunteers with our Giving Tuesday campaign, which we're hoping to do a couple different fun things around that end of year and Giving Tuesday campaign. So that would be great to have volunteers that are interested in helping as well. Excellent.
Abbie, thank you, not for coming on my show. That's wonderful. But thank you for what you're doing to help our community to be the best that it can be.
Thank you so much. And as always, love what you're doing. So thank you so much.
All right. We'll talk to you soon.
Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. So we're turning to another organization in town, which is also a nonprofit, and that is the Hopkinton Women's Club. Running right now, they have a really beautiful fundraiser that they're running. And I'd like to welcome Doris and Marie, who are in the process of coming out of the waiting room and will be on the show in a minute to tell us a little bit about this exciting venture that they're working on. Oh, and here they are. Hi, Marie. Hi, Doris.
Hello. Hi, Jim.
How are you both doing today?
Very well, thank you.
Fine, thank you.
Good, good. Thank you. I'm going to run right into this, and I'm going to just put it right out there. You guys are making some really beautiful signs that you're using as a fundraiser. Who came up with that idea?
Well, Marie and I are the guilty parties.
We're the guilty ones, yes. But we needed to do something different this year.
Mm-hmm.
Because just quickly, we're not going to do the telephone directory this year. We decided that with the pandemic, that people were probably being taxed enough and that they probably couldn't afford to buy ads. So we decided to put that on hold for 1 year. So we needed something to raise our funds for scholarships. So we came up with a sign idea.
That's
originally, originally we were going to do the signs for polyarts as a little something extra.
Yeah.
And then when all of this happened, we decided we'll just expand it and make it our primary fundraiser for the year and sell the signs through our website.
Okay. All right. So let's take a look at some of these because I really like them. Here's a couple that I took off your website.
Yep.
Now, who makes these?
Well,
There's a group of us.
I do the cutting basically for,
Okay.
and I also provide the stencils. I bought myself a Cricut machine that makes stencils this year. And then everyone gets together in the garage and we have a painting party, so to speak. Each person has their own little technique that they do things the best.
Okay. That
There are
seasonal
about-
one. That seasonal one is an awesome idea. Awesome.
Yeah.
That one is like 22 inches long, and it's Velcro so that you can change the seasons on it. It's very popular.
Nice. Now, tell me about this one.
Well, this is coming up in mid-October. We decided the ones that are on our website will probably phase out mid-October, and we're going to start doing things for the holidays. And so we were thinking, who wants to go to the mall in the middle of this craziness? So these are going to be custom initial signs. And you'll be able to either have the black scroll around the black letter or a green scroll around the black letter.
And here's the green scroll right here. Yeah.
Correct. And you will tell us what letter you would like. And they'll be $35 a piece. And they are delivered to you. So there's no mail involved. Delivered to your porch.
Mm-hmm.
And they make a great gift.
Cutting out my letters, my stencils.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. That's a lot of work.
stencil on there. It's fun.
Yeah. Now, I got a couple more here that are really, this is a nice one. Tell me about where this concept came from.
Well, this is Marie's concept, and it's quite lovely. It's on sale now, and it's a 14-inch round. I happen to have one on my door, and it's very pretty. So it's also $30.
And I have one on a photo stand inside the house. So it can be inside or outside.
Oh, okay.
Now that I have this Cricut machine, I'm having some fun with it and cutting out different stencils.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
Saw that somewhere and said, oh, we can do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that. We were going to sell them.
So does all the production happen at your place, Marie?
Yep, right in the garage. Right in the garage. I lived in Sanctuary Lane Condo Association, and people are always walking by wondering what we're doing now because we'll set up the tables and, socially distanced, and we're painting away.
Mm-hmm.
All kinds of fun things.
I got one more picture. This is a beautiful one. I like this one.
Well, that's our home for the holidays. That's 17.5-inch round. It's quite.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's large. It's really, really nice. That and the initial signs were also ceiling, so you can put them either indoor or outdoor.
Okay. So are they all indoors or outdoor, or some indoors only?
So the ones we currently have on the website are not polyurethane. So those would be more indoors, or if you can put them on a sheltered porch, if it has a roof over it. But if you have just a door without an overhang, I wouldn't hang them yet. The ones for the holidays, we are definitely polyurethane, the initial ones, and the home for the holidays, that would be really your choice if you would like it polyurethane or not. We are also Maria's creating at this point a large double-sided sign that'll be 48 inches tall. And Marie, why don't you describe that for us?
Well, it's 48 inches by 9 inches wide, and it will be two-sided. The one side will be kind of a antique red, that will say peace in white letters. And the other sides would be in antiqued white that would say welcome. So people can use it in the winter, they could use it all year long. And that will be weatherproof
Right.
too. And we're selling that for 60?
Yes,
Yes,
$60.
that decided. Mhm.
Right.
Where are these ideas coming from? These are really, really cool. Are you coming
Marie's
up with all
just
this stuff?
creative. She's a creative guru.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Feel a lot too on Facebook or some things like that. And I say, we can do that. We can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Proof up, but the women have been just absolutely wonderful with helping also. So it's fun too to
Yep.
get together and to do it. And
Yeah.
it's amazing how during the week or a couple of hours and we can just whip off a little checklist.
Wow. How
Yeah.
many, how large is your crew that are working on this?
There's about 6 of us that
Okay.
all together.
Mhm.
Sometimes I don't think we've all quite been there all at the same time, but Marie and I are usually there, and then other people come in and out as their schedules permit. So there's
Okay.
like 6 of us. We're very busy.
Yes. Oh, I can imagine. Yeah. How long does it take? Like, can you whip it all out and then just wait for it to dry, or do you have to do it in stages? And
No, you can. I use a chalk paint, so it dries quite quickly. So we can get what we'd like to do is do all the painting, and someone has their station and they're painting something while somebody else is doing something else. It's like all those little pieces were done by one person,
Right.
and she
Mhm.
loves doing fine work like that. So she just sat there and did her thing, and then while somebody else was working on another project. So before you know it, we're doing pretty well.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
done.
Now, the Women's Club does wonderful things for our community. And you mentioned it briefly, but let's just talk about, in addition to buying or getting something beautiful for your home, what are you supporting here?
The funds that are raised through the signs are all going to our scholarship fund. Last year, we gave $5,500 in scholarship and an additional $1,000 award to a Hopkinton High School student. And so that allowed the 5,500 allowed, we give them in $500 increments. So we would love to be able to do the same thing this year. We did have a very good year last year. We had multiple fundraisers, our phone directory, our marathon runner, and the monies, not all monies are dedicated to the scholarship fund, but those from the signs are dedicated to the scholarship fund.
That's really, you know what? I'm just going to say it. That is just so nice. It is so nice. There's no way that all those people that are the beneficiaries of your work, helping them to get a start in life. That's like a really great thing that you women do. I think that's worthy.
Well,
We've been
thank
doing
you.
scholarships for quite many years. It used to be a town scholarship. When I moved into town 30 something years ago, it was a town scholarship. And then the women's club took it over. And now it's ours, and it's hopefully ours to keep. And we've been very fortunate over the years to be able to give $5,000, $6,000 to that senior class from Hopkinton. So, we'd like to continue with that. We do have other fundraisers up our sleeve too.
Mhm.
That Doris knows of that in the future, but with not doing the telephone directory this year, we need some extra income, and we want to do things that are fun and that
Right.
people will
And we feel that, especially in this time, there's probably a lot of families that could use a little extra help to get their kid to college. College is so expensive. And, $500 may just help you out with some books or something, but it's a little bit of help. And there are so many families that are really struggling right now. And it's the least we can do. And, we could just ask for donations, which are always welcome, but we like to feel that you get a little something too in return. So that's why we came up with the signs.
Right, right. And I mean, you know what? I've had 3 kids go off to college, and that is a real amount of money to them,
Mhm.
you know?
Right.
They're just kind of transitioning into kind of a real world, and they're looking at, oh, this book is $100, you
Yeah.
know? So stuff like, and it's like really great to see them working with the resources that they have and learning how to figure out where it needs to go and, how to take care of things. So, and
Right.
then just the affirmation when somebody, gets a scholarship and they're recognized and they've earned that, it's very rewarding to see. Which leads me to ask, when you're deciding on the recipients of the scholarships,
Mhm.
how does that work? What are your criteria?
Well, they have a application that they have to fill out, and they get that at the guidance office or at the high school, and they have to send it to us by a certain date. It's usually April. And then we have a committee. We have a large committee that will go through them and read them all because they're basically questions that they're asked. We used to look at the GPA, but since that's sort of kind of going out, we don't look at it that much. We look at need and we look at what their interests are and how much they really want this scholarship. Very interesting to read those. Some of them we
Mm-hmm.
say, "Oh, you didn't fill out everything," so we can move on. But and it is a good discussion. We also meet with Cheryl Elder, who is the guidance counselor, and she helps us also make some decisions when necessary. But
So am I hearing right that it's that really you're just asking for the kids to share what their passion and
well, they're asked a question. They're asked a question of what is their
okay.
favorite book and
Uh,
why.
okay.
What is their favorite word and why?
Mm-hmm.
What do they do in their spare time? And
Oh,
how do they contribute to the community?
Right.
okay. And then um, does your club like read them all and vote on them?
Yes, we do. We do. We have about 14, 11 to 14 members who are on this committee. We all read them and put little notes and whatnot, and then we get together and
Mm-hmm.
we choose and tell our likes, dislikes, and our meanings, why we want to choose this person. And then Cheryl helps us an awful lot also. She'll say, "Oh, this kid's already gotten scholarships," or "This kid didn't," or something like that.
Yep.
So yes, yeah, it's a very interesting process. I've been
That's
on for
great.
years and I enjoy it. Yes.
And when did you start with the signs and how long is this fundraiser running for?
Well, we started the beginning of September, putting them onto the web, and we'll probably go through mid-November with our holiday signs, um, depending on demand.
Mm-hmm.
So, we may have to, if we can't do other fundraisers in the springtime, we're still hoping, but you never know.
Yeah.
If we can't, we might come up with some springtime signs or something uh, just to try and help us out. Last year we did a family bingo, vendor family bingo, which was very successful. People loved it. We had a great time and we wanted to do that again. But that involves a space with a lot of people and, social distancing. We can't do that. So
Yeah.
we have to wait and see. But we're hopeful through, maybe beginning December 1st might be the cutoff for the holiday ones, just because people are pretty well set by then usually. So
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah.
So it looks
Yeah.
to me as an outsider, not really knowing, but looks to me like this fundraiser is really the women of the women's club putting a lot of energy and love into these things. You bring a lot of people together to play bingo, and then 2 hours later it's done. But this
right.
fundraiser, you're making all these things from scratch, and that's going to be very labor intensive.
Well, it's also a labor of love. So,
That's
when
right.
you're there with your friends and you're talking and enjoying yourself, it's not really labor, is it?
No.
It's enjoyable and it's for a worthy cause. We all are part of the women's club because we want to give back to the community.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're very happy to do it.
Yes. And now, is this your main um, beneficiary of the largesse of the women's club, these scholarships, or are there other things that you're that your club funds or does throughout the year?
There are many other things that we do. This that's dollar-wise. It's the largest recipient dollar-wise. We do donate to Project Just Because, to the Respite Center. We do a breakfast at the Senior Center for Veterans.
APATH.
BayPath, we give to them. We give to the library. So we try and make donations wherever we can to different things. One thing I wanted to mention was because it is our 100th birthday this year, Marie is in charge of our 100th celebration. She's our chairperson for it this year. In the spring, we did birthday bags for Project Just Because. Everyone filled birthday bags because they give out toys to children for their birthdays. But the birthday bag includes, it's a large birthday bag, but inside would be a cake mix, frosting, candles, hats, plates, napkins, wrapping paper, all of those little things that maybe a parent can't really afford, those extra things that make birthdays special. And we gave over 30 of them in the fall, in the spring. And then this summer, we noticed that they were running out. So we sent out a call to members and we made another 32. So just things like that, that people are willing to do all year long and not just at the special time that is for, say, Project Just Because time. And also they do, we do backpacks for them in September for children. Anything I'm
That's
forgetting,
great.
Marie?
The food pantry, we donate to the food pantry. We just gave over 80 something cans from our meeting last week to the food pantry. And BayPath, we in the spring is when we donate to BayPath. We donate food or blankets and paper towels or things like that that they need there. Also, we also give respite in the senior center. That we've done variety of things in the past. We try to do as we can.
Well, I just want to say really quick, Marie, if you're in charge of the 100th celebration, I suggest that everybody dress up like they're in the 1920s.
I know. I know. You had said that. Well, with fingers crossed, the banner is going up in October across the town to say that it is our anniversary.
That's I just, you know what? 100 years and going so strong, You guys are so vibrant. It's awesome. But what I do want to make sure I get shown here is if people are interested in how to connect with your club, how to find these really cool signs, here is your website. Yeah. And I would also like to say, you guys have a great website. A lot of organizations where, you know, their goal of what they want to do is to not make a website. Their goal is to do what they want to do. Oftentimes their website kind of falls by the wayside, but your website is a great website. You know, it's up to date. There's no old stuff on there and you got so much going on. So my hat's off to you. You guys are doing great.
Very good. Thank you.
Well, thank you. We'll send that message to our Marie Paterzo, who runs our website for us.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you both for coming on, and I look forward to seeing you in the not too distant future when we're talking about another one of your fundraisers. Because you guys are it. You're happening.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you very much.
All right, you take care.
Bye.
Okay. All right. And next up, we're going to have John Ritz come on the show. We have been contacted by Craig Hay from the high school music department. And we get this really cool thing going on, and John is part of that. So, John, welcome.
Howdy.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing just fine. How are you, Jim?
Good, good. Thank you. So, tell you what, why don't you spill the beans on what we're doing, and then I'm going to say what you did and how it relates, and then we'll show that, and we'll start the conversation from there.
All right. we're helping out the high school bands. Craig Hay came to Hkm, looking for some help with performances this year. In the age of COVID, we can't put, half the community into the middle school auditorium for a couple of hours of a concert. Trying to figure out some way to let these kids play music together, work as a group. So I happen to have been in on a production with my college, Jim's college, everybody's college, it seems. Jim, notice I have my diploma
I
up
love it, John.
with BU. You've all probably seen these in the past, recently of group video productions where you've got 100 singers all doing a group performance. Well, BU did that last spring for its class of 2020, who were not going to have a graduation. So they reached out to their pep band alumni and said, would you guys help us out by recording BU's fight song called Go BU in one of these group performances? We'll put it all together and then we'll play it for the seniors as our way of saying thank you and good luck.
Perfect. All right. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to watch that video and then we'll chat. Okay, so that was about 34 seconds long.
Yeah.
So what I'd like to do is, can you talk to us about the experience and what your part was in it? I believe you had 3 shots in there, didn't you?
I counted them when it first came out. I've lost track, but yeah, I'm probably in there at least 3 times. It's 30 seconds long. The amount of work it goes into putting something like this together is enormous. BU, and we're copying some of what they did for Hopkinton. They put together so much material. They put together a video explaining to the participants what to do. They put together a Google folder on Google Drive with the music, with instructions, with the tutorial. You've got to tune yourself. If you're in a group, any of you musicians are used to the conductor going around and checking everybody and saying you're a little sharp, you're a little flat. You have to tune yourself. And then you have to record this stuff. If you're playing in a group, you can make a little mistake because the guy next to you will probably cover it up. But there's a tendency to want to come up with a perfect recording. And I can't remember how many times I did these. And I did it on 2 instruments. I did it on both tuba and my euphonium. And I probably did about a dozen recordings of each one. And you'll get in, a few seconds in, make a mistake and stop. And you're like, oh, got to start over again. And you keep doing it until you get enough recording, a good recording, good enough that you're willing to put in.
I just have to say, euphonium, it sounds like some type of currency from the future that I've never. What is a euphonium?
Euphonium, literally, the translation is beautiful sounding, euphonious. To younger players, baritone horn is the instrument that most people start out on. Euphonium is, think of it like a trumpet and a cornet difference, which means nothing to anybody. It's a deeper sound. It's yes. It looks like a small tuba.
Oh, okay. All right. So, John, I would think a lot of people have seen these types of compositions, and on the very outside, people might think, well, yeah, okay, you sit in your room and you play your piece, and then they just, stack them all up and they play them. They put them together and it makes a finished piece. But I think there's more to that, right? I mean, how do you actually do the nuts and bolts of making those things work?
So let me show you some things. If I can, here it is in advance. So I play around with music here at home. And let me see if I can share this. There it is. So I rigged up a second camera, and this is my home recording system. I've got a couple of microphones here. I've got my laptop up here. I've got a 2-input audio recording device from PreSonus here. I've got another microphone here that I'm using now. Various microphones for that. And I've used those for, let me stop my share here. I used that actually, Hopkinton did do something like this with just audio. They recorded the song Hopkinton last year. And that's what I used for that. For the BU one, they actually wanted it in an Apple movie format. So for that, I wound up recording my part on an iPad, which I put on a music stand and it put my music next to it and turned it on and recorded that. Yeah, like I say, it's a lot of recording, re-recording many times until you're used to it, listening to the recordings, making sure the audio levels are good. And that's part of the recording. So,
and is there anything that you need to do in order to make sure that you're not playing the song faster or slower than, I don't play an instrument, so I don't know. Is it possible you could like drift off one way or the other?
Yes, and it's very simple. You listen to the song while you're playing. So
oh, really?
They have a recording of one of the things that is provided is a recording of the song to be played. And you put an earbud in and you have it playing on so you wind up with about 3 or 4 different devices all in front of you going, but you're playing it on that, listening to it. Now for the BU one, the hardest thing for the poor person that had to put all this together is making sure that everything lines up. So yes, we're all playing along with the song, so we're all lined up with that, but getting them all to start at the same time is done. So what they did was they put a countdown at the beginning, and you had to listen to that and audibly say, doot, 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 doot. And he listened to that, and that's how he lined them up. So if you're interested, I can show you my raw recording of just my part of one of them. Let me see if I can find this.
That'd be great.
Let me see if I can find this file.
Are you using your Euphoria phone or are you using your tuba?
Let me just stop this, make sure it doesn't go. Hang on.
Yep.
I just need to pause it. Let me back it up. Pause. There. All right. I love doing sharing here. Why is my sharing not working now? Share screen. Portion of screen. I don't want portion of screen. I want... It's not letting me share my whole screen.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, now you can see it.
Yep.
Good. Let's see if this will go. All right. And we'll hit play. So that's, so yeah.
So, I can see now why that's 30 seconds, because that must be exhausting playing that instrument. That must be like a lot of work.
It's more so with the tuba.
Oh, yes.
No, that goes fast.
You had an earbud in and you were listening.
Yep.
Does that affect the way that you play. For example, and I don't like, I know that if I am working on Edit Station, if I have headphones on, it vastly changes, what I hear, and it also changes maybe how loud I'm speaking.
Sure.
So you're listening to a recording versus listening to the rest of your band with you live. Does that
Right.
affect how you perform?
I don't think so. The main purpose is to keep everybody on track, on the beat at the same time. Sure, if I was a higher level musician, it probably would make a difference. But as you could hear from that, I'm a pretty amateur musician. So it's nice being able to take that. There were 3 other baritone euphonium players who contributed. So they were able to put all 3 of our sounds together, and I'm sure we all sounded about the same solo, but we smooth out the rough edges if you put everybody together like that.
Right, right. So now we've been approached by Craig Hay about doing this, and I think this is really exciting. When I was first hired by Hkm and I had to build the TV studio, I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I knew that I could do it because I had done it before. It was newer technology and all that kind of stuff. So I was excited for that. For this particular challenge, I kind of know what we have to do, and it does scare me a little bit because Craig's got over 100 students who are going to be collaborating, doing this thing, and it is going to be so much raw footage that not only lining them up and letting them run, we'll now have to manipulate the video just like they did. They made the little BU. They had people popping in and popping out all over the place. That's going to be not only a lot of work, but also a lot of creative work, deciding, where things will go and how they might move. It's a big deal.
No, I agree. And you can, I'm going to say we should start off simple. Literally, if there are 100 kids, make just a grid, and don't try to get fancy with designs. Get things to line up, get the sound right first, and then you go in. But I mean, he was doing things like having just the singer at the beginning, and then as different instruments came in, he'd put them, or if an instrument group was featured, he'd have just them on the screen. I don't know, that's another level. The good thing is that so many people are doing these days that there's software out there. There's lots of information on the internet. We went back to BU and asked them what software did they use. We got advice from them on some things. So, reaching out to anybody we can to get this. So,
yeah. And also very exciting. What is the musical piece that was selected? Do you know?
I do, and I've forgotten. Is a Sousa March?
It's the theme from Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh, that's right. Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yes.
Perfect.
Oh, man. The only song I like more than that is the original score for Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that is so gorgeous. I love that. And when a high school, band plays it, it's just great. I love it.
I don't know if you remember 2 or 3 seasons ago, the Red Sox, when their bullpen came in, I think when they went out to the bullpen at the beginning of the game, they played one of the themes from Pirates of the Caribbean. And then I loved it because we had played it in summer band too. And it was a phenomenal piece of music to play, and it was perfect for them. So
yes.
Yep,
Although
good music.
I'll tell you, one of the sequels, I remember watching thinking, there are no stringed instruments in this. How can you have Pirates of the Caribbean with no stringed instruments? But that's a rant for another day.
Yeah. No, I'm excited about this. I think it's going to stretch the kids a little bit. Like I say, they're used to having the teacher guide them on tuning. They're going to have to do a lot more of this on their own, but that's how you develop as a musician. They're going to have to listen to the recording and, pay attention a little bit more than they would in a class where they can wander a little bit and maybe they stop playing. No, now they're going to have to. So I think it's a wonderful thing that I'm glad Hkm is able to do this for them.
Yeah, well, I'm really glad to have you aboard for this because it's a big project.
Oh yeah, it'll be fun.
All right. Hey, thank you so much for spending some time and showing that stuff.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me, Jim.
All right. I will talk to you soon, John. You have a great rest of your day.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right. Now for our last little segment, we are going to introduce Matt Clark, who is our master control operator and the author of the Hkm Insider, where he tells you everything that is coming up fresh and new this week. So, hello, Matt.
Thanks, Jim. Well, as you said earlier, obviously we have changed up our schedule this week. So we're not doing a hangout hour every day at 2 p.m. anymore. Instead, we have switched to a schedule that we feel is more useful to our viewing audience. Obviously today we have a hangout hour at 2 p.m. as usual, and that will stay the case. On coming up tomorrow, we actually don't have any hangout hours. We do have a select board meeting at 6:45 or 5:45 for whoever's interesting. But we more than make up for that on Wednesday at 3 p.m. We have an Hkm Sports Talk with Tom Nappy at 3 p.m. Followed by
whoa, Matt, don't rush by that one because we do have that, but that's a brand new series. We haven't had that before. Tom loves talking sports, so I'm actually excited to see that on the channel. Brand new series.
You're right. Thank you for adding that. So yeah, that's an extension of the sports talks he's been doing on the Hkm, the Hangout Hour for the last several weeks. Great show. We're very excited to have that. And then at 7 o'clock that night, we're going to be doing another Hangout Hour. Mike Tarosian will be hosting, and that is at 7 p.m. And then on Thursday, we're going to be introducing another news segment. We're going to have Hkm News Live at 6:30 p.m. We're also with Tom Nappy, and he's going to be doing the first news broadcast since we went into quarantine. So that's very exciting. It's going to be good to have that back in. And if I didn't mention it, that's going to be at 6:30 p.m. on Thursday, followed immediately by the school committee on Hkm Ed at 7. And then on Friday, we have Keep Moving with the Senior Center as usual at 10 a.m. And then at 7 p.m., me and Mike are going to be live on Hkm TV, and we're going to be bringing in a new Dive-In Drive-In, where we're going to be showing the movie A Royal Wedding. So we have a lot of good stuff to look forward to this week.
Wow, that's really good. We got you covered it all. That was really good. I'm really excited also about the Hkm News Live, because in addition to being an Hkm News program, being live, Tom is going to be working on incorporating more social elements and interactivity designed to connect you. Just like, it's one of the big lessons that we've learned while we were creating the Hangout Hour is connecting our community through all the channels that we have available to us. So I'm really looking forward to that starting this week as well.
Yeah, that's going to be very exciting.
Now, have you watched A Royal Wedding?
Yes, I actually watched it last night.
Okay, all right. And is it good? Do you like it?
It is. It's a classic musical. One of the things I learned is that it actually has the MGM record for the longest song title.
No kidding. Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing that on Friday then.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
All right. Okay. So I think I thank you, Matt. Appreciate your work.
No problem.
And that is it for this episode of the Hangout Hour. I appreciate all of you who have watched us, and I invite you back either Wednesday at 7 or a week from today, Monday at 2 o'clock, for more people and events that are happening in our town. So until next time, until I see you again, please stay safe and keep in touch. Take care, everybody.
Goodbye.